It takes a pair of us slightly longer to walk back to mine than it took me on my own yesterday. I figured that the way that we were subconsciously taking it slower, maybe to savor the moment. But eventually we returned to a familiar view of mine and Sayori Street. As we come up to my house, I debate internally whether Mom would be back yet. I don't exactly remember whether or not she said she'd be staying over or not. To make sure, I try open the door. As part of me predicted, it's locked. You remember your keys, right? Yeah, of course. At least I hope I have. Sorry. As I start patting down my pockets, Monica comes up beside me. Want me to check your bag out? You don't mind? Of course not! I pass Monica the bag with my stuff in it, and she almost instantly starts to riffle through it. Riffle. After another few searches through my pockets, I come to the realization that my keys aren't there. I turn back to Monica with a sigh. As I do so, the sound of jingling keys catches my attention. Found them! She passes them to me and I unlock the door. Thanks, hon. I smile sheepishly, a faint pinkish coat painting itself on my cheeks. To be fair, it could have been worse. I could have left the keys at her place and we'd have to backtrack. Not that I mind walking with her, but my legs can only take so much. The pair of us head in. 20 minutes? I have issues with my foot and I have to walk more than 20 minutes. As soon as we're inside, I head straight for the living room. Or did they say that they were? Oh, it took a bit longer. But still, if it means that you were walking slower, then I feel like... Jeez, you have very weak legs. Monica did ask where my bathroom was, and obviously I let her know and she went up. I don't know if I just repeated myself, but I don't fully remember that line. Reading it aloud, so. At least it's for me there. It didn't take her too long to come back down. So, you wanna get something to eat before we start on the song? Oh no, her hair got cut off! I mean, I already had mine. You did, yeah. I could whip you something quick up. If you like that, of course. Monica ponders for a moment. Don't worry, I'm not gonna poison you. I check a little bit. I never said you were, but now that you mention it, I'm a little concerned. The pair of us share a hearty laugh. Anyways, any preferences? Well, since vegetarian, so meat's out of the question. Now that she mentions it, I don't think we've got any bacon in. Soon if she did eat meat, it'd be out of the question anyways. You wouldn't have any eggs, would you? I'm not entirely sure, but I'll go check. At least I remember that she's vegetarian. I quickly rush to the kitchen and search for any eggs. Thankfully for Monica, there's 2 eggs. I call out to her. Hey Moni, how do you like your eggs? Poached, please. Poached, no. No, definitely not pouched. Pouched, please. Poached. She responds in the usual sweet tone. I'll get it right on. I then grumble to myself. If I don't completely screw it up, that is. As I wait for Jasmine to finish cooking my breakfast, my phone vibrates. But it stops for a moment. In the best case scenario, it's one of my friends or Mom. But the worst case scenario, I take a deep breath and bring the screen to my face. Almost immediately, I breathe a sigh of relief. It's just Katanoa. Enter my pin and read her message. Hey Em, remember you said Jasmine was staying over? How'd it go? To be completely honest, I forgot to even mention it to her and Kaho. Oh no, they're stalkers. Feeling relaxed again, I respond. Hey, yeah, last night went pretty well. It doesn't take long to text again. I bet your dad wasn't too happy about it though. And my relaxation ends. I sigh. He's been annoyed with me since we started dating. Hell, even long before we even met, he's always been annoyed with me. There I go being vague and half true about what's happening. I swear, that's gonna be the death of me. It takes an hour a little longer than usual to text back. I'm not gonna pressure you, but if you want to talk about it, you know where to find me. Once again, I sigh and think about how to respond. Just let her help Monica. You can trust her. Before I can reply, I jump as Jasmine calls me into the kitchen. It's ready, hon. Coming. I go to type a reply, but my mind goes blank. For a moment, I put my phone on the sofa and head into the kitchen. As I finish laying out Monica's eggs, I take a moment to survey my work. I've not poached eggs for a long while now, so I'm genuinely surprised that I didn't botch it. Something smells nice. Monica enters the room and her face is brimmed with excitement. So I didn't delude myself after all? I chuckle as I move past the plate from the move the plate from the counter and onto the table. My reading sometimes. Jasmine, I get you're only joking, but can you please stop degrading yourself every 5 minutes? My hands temporarily freeze before I rest them on the table. Degrading myself. I know I can be a little hard on myself sometimes, but ouch. Is it really that bad? Maybe degrading was a too strong word to use. Jeez, you think? It just kind of saddens me whenever I hear you put yourself down. Even before we really knew each other like we do now. I breathe in as I think over what you just said. I mean, I can try to do it less if that helps. Like, I can't promise anything, but I'll at least try. That's all I'm asking you to do. She smiles gently as she moves to sit at the table. It doesn't take her too long to start eating. And by the look of it, Monica seems to be enjoying herself. These are so good. If you don't mind me asking, how often do you cook? If I'm gonna be honest, not too often. Monica seems shocked. Like, whenever I do it, it's usually just either frozen foods, microwave meals, and instant ramen. But if you genuinely like my cooking, I might have to do it more. Well, I'd certainly like to see it. Monica continues eating and, in no time at all, she eventually finishes up. I care of her plate, rinsing it off and leaving it to soak in the sink, yeah. I then gently take Monica by the hand and lead her upstairs. We're gonna see the music room? Here we go. I flick the light on and lead Monica in. Moni looks around for a moment. I chuckle slightly. Yeah, I know it doesn't look like much. No, Jasmine, you don't have to apologize. For me, it's not how much you have that defines the quality of the work. It's what you do with it. I was just gonna say that. Glad we're on the same page. I would say if I get lucky one day, I'd love to get some more stuff. But I'd say I already got really lucky. I, without thinking, wink at Moni, causing her to blush. I swear, with the amount of times either one of us have blushed, we must have extra blood deposits just for our cheeks. Again, I'd usually roll my eyes at how cheesy that was. But it's kinda adorable when it comes from you. Like, it's still cheesy, don't get me wrong. But all because something seems cheesy doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. I don't know, it feels like things like these feel like they're rather for people playing the mod. And I don't mind a wink every now and then at towards the player, but it just feels like it's ashamed of being cheesy. And yeah, it tends to be cheesy, but at least be unapologetically cheesy. People who don't like cheesy things won't necessarily start to then love the mod just because it said that. Because yeah, even if it isn't like wrong, it's still not their thing. And if you say that if you're unapologetically cheesy, then at least people who just enjoy cheesy things can have their fun, and these statements just feel like a little like they're... I don't know what it is, but it just feels like it would be better if it was just unapologetically cheesy. Sorry, give me a moment. Okay. I have done it. Anyways, onto the music now. Like, how am I supposed to do a squeak line? Onto the music now. And I'm giving Monica a rather abridged rundown of how the software works. I did have to pause a few times to check if I was making sense. Thankfully, I seem to do so. Either that or Monica's being overly kind. After my tutorial, I pulled the drawer underneath the computer monitor. The drawer? I run my fingers along across the plastic keys and then turned to face Monica. I remember you mentioning you used to play piano. Yeah, I did. To be completely honest, it's been a few years since I've even touched the piano. I know it's a dumb question, but do you remember any of the songs you played back when you did? Monica thinks to herself for a moment. There's one song I can remember. That's when I wrote myself, actually. Monica's already a keeper, but damn, I'm impressed. Before I can vocalize how proud I am, Monica scoots herself over so that she's in front of the computer. She takes a deep breath and closes her eye as she rests her fingers on the keys. I think it went a little something like this. She starts off a little slow, but she's quickly able to start playing confidently. So, your reality, I was kind of expecting my song Your Note, but I've heard somewhere that DDLC Plus content, like images or stuff, they shouldn't be directly taken, as far as I know. Or something, I heard something like that. So maybe they just wanted to make sure that they don't make any mistake, and just so they didn't pick my song, you know. Or maybe it's intended to be like a wink towards like the fact that it's like romantic here. In a way, it's like she never stopped playing. It's quite remarkable, actually. The melodic piece, while simple in concept, carries the piece along nicely. I once sung the song for music at school, and we had to bring like sheets with like the notes on them, and my music teacher back then, who played piano, said that that was a very difficult melody, and since this is the entirely piano version, this is not really all that simple. My friend did fine with it though. The one who plays piano. But he generally has like a very, very good memory. And much like a cupcake or piece of chocolates, it's infectiously sweet. I'll even find myself humming along. Eventually though, she finishes up. I let her play for a bit longer. She exits and relaxes her hands, running them down her legs until they remain still on her knees. Suddenly, Monica giggles nervously. Sorry if I sounded a little rusty. Rusty? Monica, that was great. You think so? I simply nod in response. In fact, I motion for Monica to scoot over. She complies, and I start to load up a project that I've been struggling to get started for a few months. And after hearing Monica, I think I found the key to making progress. I've had these chords for a while now, but I've never been able to find a melody that, you know, suit. I move away from the computer, gently grabbing hold of the seat of Monica's chair and repositioning her. You want me to write a melody from scratch? Monica's initial surprise then breaks, turning into a seeming worry. I don't know. It's probably gonna sound like a complete mess. Monica. I take Monica's hand in my own, like many times before. She looks towards me, that seeming worry now becoming much more apparent. Look, I know it might feel like a lot to ask, but I know that you're more than capable of doing it. Even though you've only just seen me play and I could barely hold a rhythm. Her rhythm sounded spot on to me. I think about how to respond. It only takes a moment for me for something to come to mind. I place a hand on her knee. You know how you asked me to try stop being so hard on myself? Yeah? You asked me to you asked me to try to stop being so hard on myself. Judging by her tone, I can already tell what I'm about to say. I won't ask you to do the same. Like, I'm not forcing you to stop. I'm just asking you to try. For that last part, I give Monica's leg a gentle squeeze. She blushes ever so slightly as she looks away. After a brief moment, she focuses back onto me. I'll try, hun. Like you said to me, that's all I'm asking. I then remove my hand from her knee, allowing her to make herself comfortable as she composes herself. She starts by looping the chords in order to get a general idea for the flow of the piece. After that, Monica looks at the makeshift key scale that I'd placed in the project, presumably to paint an idea of the melody in her head. It doesn't take her long to get started. She plays with one hand, tapping her foot against the ground to keep time. For someone so daft with her skills, she's doing great. I mean, that could be my boyfriend bias kicking in, but I doubt it. Once again, she closes her eyes to focus. Her instincts guide her fingers as they practically glide across my keys. As with last time, Monica eventually stops and looks back towards me. Unlike last time though, Monica's confidence shines through her smile. How was that? Hun, that was great. Then I look at the clock. It's only just gone 12. We've got plenty of time. I smirk at Monica. Say, would you want to keep working on this for a bit? I think I've got a decent idea as to what her answer will be, but it wouldn't hurt to ask. You know I'd love to. Called it. Alright, let's get started. We go on for the next few hours, the pair of us becoming more and more engrossed in the project the longer it goes on. What had initially started as a project I could have easily forgotten about for months had begun to take shape into something far more special. It wasn't just my song with her notes, no. It was our song. Once ideas had run dry for what to do with the song, Mon and I just decided to relax in my room. We decided to order in some pizza and watch a few movies, mostly just some sappy romance movies and some uber cheesy horror flicks. To be honest, it only ended up serving as more reason to cuddle up with Monica. Mom ended up showing up just past 4 in the afternoon. With the knowledge of where she'd been, made it easy to guess where she was. Naturally, Monica was curious herself. I decided not to tell her about the situation with mine and Natsuki's parents. Besides, Natsuki's most definitely gonna interrogate me about it tomorrow anyways. That's certainly going to be fun. I'm pulled out of my little trance by the sound of Monica yawning. Someone sounds sleepy. I smile gently at her. Honestly, I'm knackered. I could probably start heading home soon. Monica giggles nervously, presumably a tad bit embarrassed that I'd caught her yawning. I really enjoyed today. As did I, hun. I don't know, would you want to do the same next weekend? I can do next weekend. I'm visiting my grandparents in Hokkaido then. The week after? You bet! Her smile yet again is brimmed with excitement. I'm never gonna tire of that smile, I swear on my life. So you want to head downstairs? Yeah. Monica tries to keep a more positive outward appearance, but the downcast tone in her voice is more than noticeable. Considering Home's situation, I can't exactly blame her. I then feel my heart ache at my own realization. We exchange a quick "see you tomorrow" as well as a quick goodbye kiss before Monty heads off. I let Mom know I'll be down in a bit, as I'm going to try to make a start on tomorrow's poem before dinner. Well, if I can think of anything to write, that is. I wake up in a cold sweat. Damn my overactive imagination, always jumping to the worst possibilities. Monica's fine. She's safe. Monica's fine. She's safe. I repeat that to myself a few times, breathing in and out as I do so. I tried to close my eyes to get back to sleep, but to no avail. I got off my bed to check the time. It's only 1:21 a.m. A drink wouldn't hurt too much, I suppose. I slide my phone into my pajama pocket and head straight for the kitchen. I flick the light on and immediately head for the cupboard. Once I have my glass filled, I sit at the table and start sipping. After a minute or so of just drinking and staring into nothingness, I pull out my phone and start scrolling through the photos I'd taken of me and Monty over the last couple of days. It's still surreal to think we're an item. Compared to her, I resemble a sleep-deprived zombie in at least half of these pictures. To be fair, when do I never look that? I find myself smiling and sometimes even chuckling at some of the pictures. How does she manage to look so joyful despite everything that's... My burst of joy turns to dread just as quickly. I place my phone on the table and take a few deep breaths. She's fine, you're just overthinking things. I'm just overthinking. Daisuke is not gonna lay a finger on her. After a few more breaths, I drape my arms down my sides. I've got to stay strong for her. I pick my phone back up and this time scroll through mine and Monica's texts. Sometimes I forget just how long our texting sessions last, regardless of whether we saw each other after school or not. During my scrolling, though, I end up reading the text regarding Monica's home situation more than anything else. Either I'm starting to realize things I didn't quite understand before, or merely making things seem worse in my head. At this point, I can't even tell anymore. Once more, I put my phone on the table and throw my hands against the sides of my head. This time my eyes are feeling ever so tingly. Am I crying? I wipe my trembling fingers under my eyes. Sure enough, I am. Fucking hell. My voice is faint and, much like my hands, shaky. My further attempts to keep my breathing steady fall flat. I bury my face in my hands as my breaths become harsh. Please, Monica. Please be okay. Please be okay.